Howdy, I'm Emily.
I'm Rolando.
And I'm Chris.
And we are Team 15, and our project is called USS DSTR. Our team consists of Chris and myself on the mechanical sub-assembly team and Rolando on the control sub-assembly team. This project is called DSTR, and a fun fact is that DSTR is also a German band that used to be called Destroyed. And in figure 1, here is a picture of our 100% completed DSTR car.
Mechanical sub-assembly progress. Figure 1 shows all of the provided and 3D printed pieces on a computer screen, and below in the circle is the aluminum tubing post-fabrication, which has already been cut and drilled. Figure 2 shows how some of the aluminum tubing and some of the 3D printed pieces fit together to form the frame of the vehicle. Figure 3 shows how the square aluminum tubing and the 3D printed motor shoes fit together to form the legs of the project. Figure 4 shows how those legs and the frame fit together to form what will soon be a car.
So, being on the mechanical sub-assembly team, for me personally, it helped get me out of my comfort zone. I never really used any heavy machinery or any tools in general, but by being on the mechanical sub-assembly team, it gave me the opportunity to learn how to use machines like in the figure shown to the side. So in figure 1, we have a belt sander, and this was used to smooth out jagged edges from the cuts we made. And then in figure 2, we have a bandsaw, which was used to make exact cuts in our metal pieces that were used for the frame of our car. And then in figure 3, we have a table drill, and this was used to create holes where Rolando had marked for us. And then lastly, in figure 4, we have the heat gun, and this was used to bend the PVC that makes up our car sled. We also learned the importance of accuracy because with all the cuts and drilling we did, if we were even a fraction of a millimeter off of target, it would greatly affect the outcome of our entire project.
Howdy, my name is Rolando Garcia, and I was in charge of the control subassembly. I took part in wiring, folding the sled, soldering, and marking the cuts and holes for my teammates. Here are 3 images of which show some of my work throughout the project. Figure 1 shows the motor soldered to red and black wires. This was done in class. Figure 2 shows the frame, motor, and wire assembly. This was done at the EIC at our own time. As you could see female and male mounts, wire mounts. And in figure 3, you can see our 95% finished product. The 5% that was missing were just the batteries, as we did not have them by then. And by then, the car was fully functional. Many lessons that I learned throughout this project were reoccurring. In terms of soldering and wiring, I was completely new to this. Figure 1, as you can see with my left hand, I have solder, and the right hand, I have a soldering tip. I learned quickly that in soldering, you have to be both precise and accurate to get a good, clean connection. And so that is what I did. Wiring, just as important as soldering, you need a good connection to get good current. And without a good current, you can't have a good working project. In figure 2, you can see the wires fully soldered to the motors. And back to marking holes, I had previous experience with marking holes with my father working on house projects, and I completely knew the importance of it. Therefore, when marking, I would double check, because if not, it would hinder further progress.
The current completion status of our project is 100%. Figure 1 shows a rear view of the project, which shows how neatly the battery pack sits atop the sled. Figure 2 shows how the battery pack and the launch pad sit atop the sled, which is in turn atop the frame. Figure 3 is a side view of the project, which shows how the sled slides into place in the frame, how the H-bridge and the launch pad are connected via wires, and how those wires are not in the way of any moving pieces.
So here's a testing video of us driving our DSTR car.